In the beginning, God. These are the opening words of the most famous, controversial, and influential book in history. They unapologetically announce the reality of divinity, God. They beg a question: can and would this God communicate with man? The rest of the book, known as the Bible, is the answer to that question. Come along with us as we explore evidence for God and evidence for the divine inspiration, preservation, and canonization of the Bible. Prepare also to be brought face to face with undeniable evidence of the amazing power and influence of the Bible in the human story. Are you ready? Let's go. In the beginning, God. Again, the opening words of this book known as the Bible. In the beginning? Was there a beginning? Many textbooks and teachers claim that the observable universe is simply the product of random quantities of energy and matter that organize themselves to form celestial bodies and planets, along with the Earth and all of its geology and forms of life, including humanity itself. Others refer to increasingly higher forms of biology developed through an infinite series of minuscule causes and effects. But these ideas leave people hanging with their obviously unaddressed dilemma. Where did this matter and energy come from? If life comes from a protracted series of causes and effects, where did that start? I can watch my grandsons line Jenga blocks or dominoes up in a row and see how one knocks over the other, and that one knocks over the next one, and then the next one, and so on. But what started the whole chain of events and made the first one fall? The Bible doesn't leave us hanging. It reveals what logic demands. Yes, there was a beginning, the uncaused first cause, or speaking even more plainly, the Creator God. Let's go a little further with the first words of the book we're here to take a closer look at today. In the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth. The Bible goes on to claim that not only was there an uncaused first cause, but this cause, this originator, was a deliberate designer. Consider with me, scientists admit that the laws of physics and chemistry require that our universe, with all of its elements and compounds, be fine-tuned to an incredible level of precision. In addition, there are many categories and values designed to accommodate life, especially human life. And guess what? Our environment is just exactly that. Chance? Not a chance. The mathematical likelihood of that just happening is simply impossible. This concept is represented in the anthropic principle, or simply stated, the amazing and undisputable reality that the physical features of our world are perfectly and ideally suited for life on planet Earth. Are you still with me? Well, let's open up one more time to the first page, the first paragraph, the first sentence of the book we're here to objectively consider. This most beloved and yet disputed volume of all time, the Bible, and read those words again. In the beginning, God created the heaven and the earth. As we stated earlier, some scientists attempt to explain the observable universe by claiming the slow evolution from some vague and distant past of simple forms of life to more complex forms of life. One of the dilemmas that they face is the explosion of knowledge in microbiology, including the absolute precision of interacting components within, for example, a single bacterial cell. These contain wonderfully intricate systems of cooperative elements in which the lack of any one in its perfect balance would completely prohibit function. This relationship is called irreducible complexity. It is quite interesting to note that Charles Darwin, concerning his theory of evolution, wrote, If it could be demonstrated that any complex organ existed which could not possibly have been formed by numerous successive slight modifications, my theory would absolutely break down. Well, modern cellular biology has demonstrated just that. The irreducible complexity of marvelous micromachinery which shouts to us the careful and deliberate hand of a master designer, God, who created the heavens and the earth. Let's return to the question we asked in the onset. Can and will this God communicate with us? Would transcendent Deity desire to communicate in some manner with mortal humanity? Has He? The collection of carefully recorded words that have dramatically altered the course of individuals, of families, of communities, of nations, indeed of human history far more than any others, comprises that very communication, preserved for us in the volume we call the Bible. Can I trust it? Should I regard it differently than other writings? Has its content or its message changed through the centuries? Is it reliable? And if so, is it relevant to me today? Those are excellent questions. Let's look together at some honest answers. We'll begin by looking at some questions about inspiration.